The air was calm as the sun began its ascent, casting a golden glow over the monastery courtyard. Disciples gathered, each seeking the wisdom that radiated from the enlightened one. Among them, I knelt in silence, my heart filled with anticipation and reverence. The Buddha sat beneath the Bodhi tree, his presence a beacon of serenity and insight. His gaze, soft and knowing, met mine as he spoke. Do you carry worries in your heart today? I hesitated, then replied, Master, I am troubled by the suffering I see and my inability to alleviate it. He nodded, his expression compassionate and understanding, and then gestured toward a nearby pond. Look at the lotus blooming there, he said, his voice steady yet gentle. What do you notice about it? I observed the flower, its petals pure and unblemished, rising above the murky water. Master, it is beautiful and untouched by the mud from which it grows, I answered. The Buddha smiled, his eyes reflecting the wisdom of ages. Indeed, the lotus teaches us a profound lesson, he began. It grows in the mud, nourished by it, yet it rises above, pure and radiant. His words hung in the air, their weight sinking deep into my consciousness. Life, he continued, is like the pond. Challenges and hardships are the mud, but they are not the end. His gaze swept across the disciples, who listened with rapt attention, each one drawn into the orbit of his teachings. Gratitude, my disciples, is the stem that allows us to rise above the mud, he explained. The breeze carried the scent of blossoms as he spoke. It is gratitude that transforms hardship into nourishment for the soul. A woman approached, her face etched with sorrow, and she bowed low before the enlightened one. Master, she began, her voice trembling, how can I feel gratitude when my heart is weighed down by loss? The Buddha regarded her with profound kindness. Daughter, he said, even in loss, life offers gifts, though they may be hidden from our sight. He gestured to the woman to sit, her eyes brimming with unshed tears. And she obeyed silently. Tell me, he inquired gently, what do you still hold, even in the depth of your sorrow? She hesitated, her voice barely a whisper. Master, I still have breath, though it feels heavy and burdensome. The disciples watched as the Buddha tossed the stone gently into a nearby pond, its surface breaking into concentric waves. The ripples represent the effects of suffering, the Buddha said, but with practice, the mind becomes the calm lake again. It is where gratitude begins. For without it, nothing else is possible. His words seemed to lift a veil from her spirit, and she nodded, the burden in her eyes softening. Gratitude does not deny pain but transforms it, the Buddha declared, his voice resonating with clarity. He continued, just as the lotus needs mud to bloom, we need challenges to grow and awaken our true nature. The disciples exchanged glances, their minds turning the words over, each discovering its personal resonance. Remember, the Buddha said, his tone gentle but firm. Gratitude is not found in grand gestures but in small acknowledgments. His eyes rested on me, and he asked, what are you grateful for at this very moment? I pondered, then answered, Master, I am grateful for your teachings, which illuminate the path like a lantern in the dark. He nodded approvingly, the faintest trace of a smile gracing his serene countenance. Gratitude expressed is like the blossom of the lotus, visible and uplifting to all who behold it, he taught. The woman who had spoken earlier approached again, her expression more peaceful, and bowed deeply. Master, I will begin with breath, she said, her voice stronger now. The Buddha reached out a hand, not to touch, but to bless her with the gesture of his palm. Begin, and you shall find that gratitude grows like the lotus. Steady and resilient, he said. The sun climbed higher, its rays warm but gentle, casting the world in soft light as the morning unfolded. Anand walked away from the Bodhi tree, the teachings of the Buddha guiding each step. like lanterns lighting a winding path. Another day. Anand sat quietly by the river, his heart weighed down by feelings of inadequacy and lingering doubts. The gentle sound of flowing water accompanied his thoughts. Swirling like currents of uncertainty within his restless mind, he approached the Buddha, who sat serenely upon a rock, gazing at the lotus flowers blooming along the riverbank. The mud, I realized, was not an obstacle but a necessary part of the journey toward the light. Gratitude transformed all into growth, struggle into strength, pain into compassion. Another day, another lesson under the shade of the Bodhi tree. The disciples gathered, their robes fluttering in the gentle breeze. The Buddha paused, scooping a handful of water from the river, allowing it to trickle down slowly from his fingers. Do you see, Anand? This water cannot hold its form, constantly changing, adapting, and flowing towards its destined path. The Buddha sat in meditation, his countenance tranquil as the rising sun. He opened his eyes, his gaze sweeping across his devoted followers. A child appeared at the edge of the gathering, clutching a handful of small pebbles. His bare feet hesitated, yet his eyes gleamed with hope. The Buddha noticed him and smiled. Come closer, young one. What brings you to us this fine morning? The child knelt before him, presenting the pebbles with both hands extended. Master, he began shyly, I bring you these stones as an offering. I have nothing else to give. The Buddha continued, your doubts, Anand, arise from clinging to permanence and comparison, both illusions that obscure your true nature. By accepting impermanence, you free yourself from the chains of doubt and open your heart to growth and transformation. What are these stones to you? He asked, his voice soothing as a lullaby. The boy replied earnestly, they are precious to me, Master. They are the only treasures I own. The Buddha regarded the pebble in his palm with quiet admiration. This pebble teaches us a valuable lesson, he began. Gratitude is not measured by wealth but by the heart behind the act. His voice resonated through the crowd, its depth compelling them to reflect. He turned to the disciples and said, this child reminds us that gratitude thrives in humility, a gift more precious than gold. The boy smiled, his small hands clasped, as the disciples nodded in quiet agreement. Let us never forget, the Buddha continued, that true wealth lies in the ability to give. The midday sun climbed higher as the Buddha held the pebble aloft. In the smallest acts, gratitude reveals its profound strength, he declared. A young monk approached, bowing deeply, and asked, Master, how can I give when I have so little myself? The Buddha gestured toward the child, who stood proudly despite his simplicity. Learn from him, the master said. Anand, fear is natural, but it is impermanent too. Walk with your fear, not as its servant, but as its companion. Another disciple voiced his thoughts. Master, is not gratitude a reflection of receiving rather than giving? The Buddha turned his gaze, calm yet piercing, toward the speaker. Gratitude is the bridge, he replied, between giving and receiving, uniting both with the light of appreciation. The Buddha continued, Anand, remember that like the lotus, your journey is uniquely yours. Do not measure your growth against others. In return, we tend and protect it. His teachings interwove nature and life, a tapestry of interconnected gratitude. The child held his pebble tightly, his face radiant with a sense of purpose. Master, he said timidly, can I continue to offer my stones, even if they are all I have? The Buddha's smile was gentle and reassuring. Yes, my child, he answered. Your offering is a seed from which gratitude blooms eternally. He gestured to the disciples, his voice unwavering. Each of us has stones, whether visible or unseen. What will you offer today? The group murmured, their thoughts a ripple of contemplation. Ask not what is absent, the Buddha advised, but what is within reach. awaiting your intention. A woman stepped forward, her hands empty yet trembling with conviction. Master, she said, I offer my devotion, as I have no material possessions to give. The Buddha raised his hand in blessing, his expression radiant. Your devotion is the pebble that uplifts the spirit, he affirmed. As the gathering concluded, the disciples dispersed, their minds stirred by the lessons of the offering of stones. The child ran toward the pond, his laughter echoing, his pebbles now symbols of gratitude's enduring power. The Buddha watched, his heart a reservoir of compassion and understanding. The setting sun cast its golden hues over the monastery, the day fading but its lessons enduring. The sun cast warm rays through the branches, illuminating the faces of the monks gathered around the Buddha for daily teachings. Anand approached the Buddha with hesitant steps, seeking guidance to address the persistent shadow of self-doubt lingering within his heart. Another day, another journey under the infinite canopy of the Bodhi tree. The morning was tranquil, the air crisp and pure. The disciples gathered in quiet reverence, each seeking renewal through the Master's teachings. I was among them, my heart eager for the wisdom to unfold. The Buddha opened his eyes slowly, his gaze serene and filled with infinite compassion. A ripple of silence passed through the crowd, each one drawn into his peaceful presence. A young monk named Tissa knelt before him, his face a tapestry of guilt and self-doubt. Master, Tissa began, his voice trembling, I feel unworthy of your teachings. My errors weigh heavily upon my heart. The Buddha regarded him kindly, his expression unchanging, as steady as the still waters of a pond. Tissa, he said softly, what do you see in your reflection when you gaze into the water? Tissa hesitated, unsure of the question, and replied, I see my face, Master, though it often feels distorted by my own judgment. The Buddha gestured to the pond nearby, its surface glimmering under the morning sun. Look again, my dear disciple, he urged, his voice gentle yet firm. Tissa obeyed, kneeling by the water's edge, peering into the stillness that mirrored his uncertain form. I see myself, Tissa repeated, his voice tinged with sadness, but also my mistakes and failures staring back at me. The Buddha rose gracefully, approaching the pond and standing beside his troubled follower. Your reflection is but a fragment, Tissa, the Buddha explained, his tone steady like a calm stream. It reveals what is on the surface, but beneath lies the depths of your being. The disciples leaned closer, their curiosity piqued by the profound simplicity of the lesson. Master, Tissa asked hesitantly, how can I see beyond my faults when they seem to define who I am? The Buddha cupped his hands, scooping a portion of water and letting it fall gently back into the pond. As water clears with time, so does the mind when it is stilled, he said. Gratitude begins with acceptance, Tissa, not with perfection. The sun climbed higher, its light breaking through the leaves, scattering golden rays over the listening crowd. The Buddha turned to the group, his voice resonant yet soft. Each of us carries imperfections, much like the pond reflects both clarity and ripples, he continued. Gratitude for oneself is the root of all compassion. Without it, how can we truly offer kindness to others? His words lingered in the air, sinking into the hearts of his disciples, their eyes glistening with newfound understanding. Tissa bowed deeply, his tears mingling with the earth beneath him. Master, he said, his voice steadier now, how do I begin this practice of self-gratitude? The Buddha smiled, the gentle curve of his lips a testament to his boundless wisdom and patience. Start with the smallest acknowledgement, the Buddha advised, like the moon reflected in the water, imperfect but luminous nonetheless. The disciples murmured their agreement, the lesson resonating deeply as they reflected on their own struggles and triumphs. A breeze rustled through the trees, carrying the scent of blossoms and the echoes of the Buddha's words. He gestured toward the distant mountains, their peaks crowned with clouds. Even the mountain, mighty and unyielding, is shaped by time and elements, he said. So too are we shaped by our experiences. Tissa nodded, his expression lighter, as though a burden had been lifted from his weary soul. The Buddha placed a hand on his shoulder, his touch as calming as his words. Gratitude for oneself, he said, is the first step toward seeing the divine in others. The gathering fell silent once more, the disciples absorbing the profound simplicity of the teaching. The pond, its surface now still, seemed to reflect not just their faces but their unfolding understanding. The morning light grew brighter, illuminating the path ahead for each of them, as the disciples dispersed. I lingered, the Buddha's words still ringing in my ears. Gratitude is the mirror, I whispered to myself, through which we see not just our flaws, but our potential. Walking away, I felt a profound sense of connection to the lessons imparted that day. The reflection in the pond stayed with me, a reminder of the importance of seeing beyond the surface. Like Tissa, I began to practice gratitude for myself, discovering that it opened doors to compassion and wisdom. The path of gratitude was not just a teaching but a journey toward wholeness and light. Thank you for watching. Buddha's teachings are always with you. Subscribe to our channel and we will see you in the next video.